You call yourself a man? You know you're a lying, low-life, motherfucking gambling degenerate prick. You know that's what you are?
Well, hello, you degenerate fucks. Welcome to the Degenerate Gambler. It's Wednesday, the 15th of March. Just doing another episode. Looking back at last week, which was shocking. I've had the worst start to the month that I've had in a long time. January was bad, but March is looking worse. Uh, it look, it could end up okay, could end up terrible. Who knows? But it hasn't started well. I've had two poor weeks. Bets not great. Cheltenham currently at the minute. I had a bad day on Tuesday. Lost about 40 quid yesterday. Today, the first horse in my lucky 15's won, so I'm at least getting my money back. Hopefully, get another winner. Maybe even a couple of high-priced favorite or outsiders placed, which would get me a decent return. But we'll see anyway. But um, yeah, I'll just run through last week very, very quickly. So Spurs won, Middlesbrough won, Napoli won, Braintree drew nil each, and Peterborough were beat at home. Uh, the mixed bet, Barnsley Plymouth was over twos, Everton Brentford was 1-0. It was both to score. Leamington Chester was nil each, which was two of the top scorers in that league. Tunbridge Ebbsfleet was one each, so it was unlucky. And then Mansfield Leyton Orient, both to score was postponed. So that was because of the weather. Um, The evening bet, City to win it over 1.5 was beat. The 1-1-0. PSG won. Las Palmas conceded a last minute equaliser. St Etienne drew. Darmstadt were beat. And both teams to score in the other German game was up. Sunday was a bit of a cunt, but the first bet I did was Arsenal to win it over 1.5. Norwich were beat. Freiburg to win, they did. Linfield to win, and Nice. Nice conceded a late goal, but what happened was after that Norwich game, which was 12 o'clock kickoff, I reloaded just the quad, which was the Arsenal, Freiburg, Linfield, Nice. And the only thing that beat that was that last minute goal that Nice conceded. So that was a bit of a cunt. I did a bet that night. River Plate over twos was up. Gank, both the score was up. Salzburg over twos, that was 2-0. Rosenborg was 1-0. And Granada, I think, drew. So look, it's a poor time. I'm not going to hate from it. It is what it is. At the end of the day, I'm still up. What am I off? 1,200 quid for the year. So even if I end up losing a few hundred quid this month, I'm still doing okay. It's not going to be a great month unless I get a couple of big winners here, and especially because Cheltenham, it's the biggest betting week of the year. There's races on for 4 days. There's Champions League on. There's football midweek. So potentially, if I have a bad week here, I could lose 200 quid easy. But listen, it's money that I can afford to lose. It's money that I've been putting away for probably the last sort of 5 6 weeks, putting a tenner here, a tenner there, just actually saving it in my locker and work. Um, and then because I'm sure you've noticed, anybody who's seen the bets, I always do my Cheltenham bets, my Lucky 15 in the bookmakers because most online bookmakers don't. In fact, I'm not even sure about this anymore, but it used to always be the fact of most online bookmakers don't give you treble the odds. So if you go into the bookmakers, do a Lucky 15 and you only get one winner or even one placed, they will treble those odds. So I've just had roughly an 8-1 winner. I'll get paid out at 26-1 on that. So 26-1 with 50p on it, and then 50p on the place, which will be a fifth of 26. It's complicated, but look, it's a good way to ensure that if you get one winner, you kind of get your money back. So that's what I've done, and that's why I do that. So, but again, I could lose. I could do four £15 lucky 15s, some singles, some accumulators, and I could be 150 quid down just on horses this week. But it's only day two. I've got to win it a day, so I'm definitely going to get my money back, and I could get some profit. So, mate, let's hopefully that I get some winners. Last year I did. Last year I had 4 days, 3 days. I had decent returns. I think one day I had my money back and a wee bit more. Other days I had 80 and 100 odd quid. So let's hope for that. Anyway, let's look at the favourites that won last week. Some statistics. So last week actually was decent. So the fact that I only got 3 out of 5 up was a bit of an annoyance. But anyway, 10 games in the Premier League, 6 favourites, 3 draws, 1 outsider. 12 games in the Championship, 8 winners, which is huge for the Championship. 1 draw, 3 outsiders. League Two, 12 games, 9 favourites, 2 draws, 1 outsider. League Two, 10 games, 7 favourites, 3 draws, no outsider. National League, there was only 6 games, 4 favourites, 1 draw, 1 outsider. National League North, 10 games, only 3 favourites, 5 draws, 2 outsiders. National League South, 12 games, only 3 favourites, 3 draws, and 6 outsiders. And I had a team there, was Braintree were in one of those leagues, so those 2 leagues were poor last week. So in total, that was 72 games and 40 favourites won, 18 draws, and 14 outsiders, which worked out at 55%. So that was decent. That was decent compared to the way it's been the last few weeks. Going on to the overs. Premier League 5 over 5 not out of 10. Championship only 3 over 9 not out of 12. League 1 7 over 5 not out of 12. League 2 4 over 6 not out of 10. National League 2 over 4 not out of 6. National League North 7 over 3 not from 10. National League South 8 were over 2.5 and 4 were not. In total, that was 36 out of that were over and 36 not. So it was exactly 50%. So not bad either there. So my bet was terrible. I only had out of my 3 over 2s, only one of them was up. So look, again, no point dwelling on the past. We move on. You have these bad runs. But what I have done is I've made a decision that I am, at least this week, and then the international break's coming. So I'm only doing one bet this week on the weekend. I may change my mind. I'll probably do an early bet if look, and there's plenty of early games. I'll obviously do a late game, a bet for the late games. But in the 3 o'clock games, I'm not doing that overs bet or the mixed bet. I'm just going to put the 15 quid that I would normally put on those 2 bets on one bet. Because look, they've been terrible for weeks. There's a few times there they get some sweats, but recently they've been terrible. And as I said before, everybody I'm speaking to are saying the same things, that overs is not great at the moment. So I'll run through the bet, then I'll come back and I'll give you each selection's reasons. So the first team is Spurs away to Southampton. They're 4 to 5, which is 1.8 decimal. Next is Leyton Orient at home to Colchester, 8 to 13. That's 1.62. Then Wrexham away to Bromley, 4 to 7, 1.57. Northampton at home to Crewe, 8 to 15. That's 1.53. And Derby at home to Fleetwood, 9 to 20. That's 1.43 or 1.45. Can't remember. But that works out at 10 to 1. So with 15 quid on, it's going to pay 150. It's a good bet. There will be a bonus on that probably, so it'll be a bit more. And actually they're not. There won't be a bonus because there's no bonus in the National League. But there's 4 of the 5 games have the possible of early payout. So look, that's all I'm doing. That's the bet. So I'll go through now and I'll give you my reasons. So first up, we obviously have Spurs. Currently sitting fourth. Southampton obviously bottom, although Southampton are in decent form. They've got 7 points from the last 5 games. Spurs only 9 points. Spurs 6th best away record. Southampton away down worst home record, 9 points at home all season. Recent form, Southampton at home, they've got 2 wins at home and 3 losses in the last 5. Those wins were against Blackpool, which was the Cup, and Leicester, who are dodgy this season. Spurs, terrible away record. Okay, so Spurs have 4 losses in a row away. My thinking here is that this is one of the away games that they should be winning. I mean, they got beat by AC Milan there, so you can't really count that. It's not thing. They were also knocked out of the Cup when they rested a load of players. So look, I know that form isn't great, and it may make people think, they don't fancy it. Totally up to yourselves. Spurs are Spurs, and they get Spursy. So it's up to yourselves, but that's who I do fancy them to get their first win in 4 away. Next is Leyton Orient, currently top of League 2. Playing Colchester, who are 20th in form. Leyton Orient 9 points from 15. Colchester just the one. Recent form at home, Colchester 3 wins and 2 draws. They drew the last home game against Swindon. They won the 3 before that and drew the 1 before that. So pretty good home form. Colchester away from home, they had 3 wins, but they've lost their last 2 away against Bradford and Carlisle. Now both Bradford and Carlisle are in good form, so it makes me think that they can't beat the teams that are playing well. So that's my reason behind that one. Next we go to Wrexham. Wrexham obviously top of the National League. They're what are they? A point clear of Notts County with a game in hand. Playing Bromley, who are 10th on form. Wrexham are second, 13 points. Bromley away down in 18th with only 5 points. Looking at recent form, Bromley's home form not great. They've only got 1 win in 5. So they lost their last game against York. They drew the game before that. They won the game before that. They drew the 2 before that. And Wrexham's away form isn't brilliant, but they beat Dagenham in their last game. They drew the game before that, won the game before that, lost the game before that, but that was against Sheffield United in the FA Cup, and then they won the game before that against Altrincham. So they're flying. I think they're going to kick on here and just make that lead bigger against Notts County. Next we go to Northampton. Northampton currently 4th in League Two. Crew away down in 17th form. Northampton 3rd in the table behind Carlisle and Bradford. Crew away down in 15th. They've only got 6 points. Northampton have 11 from 15. Recent home form, Northampton have won their last 2 at home, and then they were in a bit of bad form there, so they lost the 1 before that and drew the 2 before that. But as I say, they've won their last 2 at home, and Crew have no wins in the last 5 away. They lost against Stevenage in their last away game, and they drew the 4 games before that. Lastly, then was Derby. Derby are at home to Fleetwood, currently sitting 5th in the table. Fleetwood down in 16th. In form now, they're both beside each other, both on 7 points in out of the last 15. But when you look at the home form, Derby unbeaten in 5 at home. They drew their last game against Shrewsbury, who are also in good form. They won 2 before that, they drew the 1 before that, and they won the 1 before that. So a good home form. And Fleetwood lost 3 in a row away. They drew the game before that and won the game before that. So that's the thinking there. As I say, 10-1. So even if you're going to just stick with the same bet that I normally do, which is a tenner, you should still get, you're still going to get 140 or 100, 110 back for your money, which is decent anyway. Do you know what I mean? So that's the bet. As I say, there's no overs or mixed bet. There's nothing. As I say, I might change my mind on the Saturday depending how Cheltenham goes. If Cheltenham goes well or get a bet up or whatever. I'll maybe do another bet. I don't know what I'll do yet though. But I'm looking at the early games. Definitely going to be an early bet this week. So keep your eyes peeled for that on Saturday morning. Just leaves me to look at midweek. League, there's very, very little on. I think this is a lot of time where teams are going to be making up games that they have in hand. So there's 2 games in League Two, 2 games in League One, 3 in League Two. There's 5 in the National League North, 5 in the National League South. There's a Scottish Championship game and a Scottish League Two game. And Wednesday there's 1 League Two game. And then on Thursday the Euro qualifying starts. There's 8 Euro qualifiers. So that'll be a quiet weekend for me. I'll probably only do 1 bet next week as well. Maybe even just do the tenner. International breaks are pish. So that's it for this week. Let's hope everybody's Cheltenham's going okay and nobody's losing big money. I've said this before, but I'll say it here for anybody who's listening before the festival's over. I get my picks from mostly Sport and Life, Matt Brocklebank, Ben Linfoot, 2 guys that I like. They both like value picks, my type of bets. And also a page I found on Twitter, which he also has a website called The Winners Enclosure. He's had a few winners recently. The ACCA that I picked today is, I think, all of his selections, or not every selection he's made, but from his selections, the first one's up. So Worth giving a follow to on Twitter and checking out his website, and also worth reading the Sporting Life value bet on Ben Lifford's tips that come out every day at 5 o'clock, easily found on Twitter or sportinglife.com. So that's basically it. It just leaves me to say, if you are doing a bet, good luck and happy punting.
Here, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, thanks. Let me find out you fucked up. I'll leave you wherever I find you.